Many people find having high stakes conversations pretty difficult. They avoid the conversation, or they don't really have the skills to be able to successfully navigate the conversation, and things can disintegrate into conflict or fractured relationships. In this short video, I'm going to give you 3 powerful tips to avoid that so that you can have more effective conversations, even those really tough conversations that maybe you've been avoiding. I'm Eimear Zone. I'm a certified coach and author of the little book of Good Enough. Let's jump in. Tip number 1, intention. It all starts at the level of intention. And our intention is our inner motivation, that quality of heart that sits behind the words, that sits behind the behaviors. And people will really feel where we're coming from in a conversation, regardless of the words that we use. So we may well have been to great workshops on communications and had some great training. And we might have some good strategies like knowing use I instead of you so the other party doesn't become defensive, and make sure that we're listening actively so that we are maintaining eye contact, that we are nodding along and giving those signals that we are actually engaged in tracking the conversation. All of these mechanics are very useful, but if you are not coming from a genuine intention where you truly wish to connect and you truly wish to understand the other person, that will be felt by the other party. It will be felt. So what gets in the way is, our default patterns of engaging with people, which normally come from a perspective of, I want something different from you. This is somehow your fault. And then we get into the blame game. And if we enter a conversation and there's judgment, criticism, or blame in our language or in our way of being in that conversation, the other party will get defensive, and they won't make space to actually receive our message. And so the conversation will fail with that disconnect. When the other person trusts that we are in fact coming from a place where we're genuinely interested in understanding, that we're not trying to manipulate the conversation to extract a win, that we're not trying to be right so that you're wrong, that we win so that you lose, they can release from the defensive mode and they can actually open up to receive what we are saying. So that is really the fertile ground and the necessary foundation to have an effective conversation. Tip number 2, be fully present. I know we hear this a lot and you're like, be present. We've all done it though, haven't we? We've driven somewhere and we've arrived and we're not quite sure how we got there really, because we weren't fully embodied at the time. And sometimes that doesn't matter so much in a conversation. It absolutely matters. You must fully be there with the other person. A couple of tips to help you do that. You want to connect in with your body so that you're reminding yourself not to be distracted from the internal maybe narrative that you're entertaining, or just those wandering thoughts when you feel uncomfortable with what the other person is saying. You ground yourself in your body. It's just a quick sort of check-in. You may like to check in. This is what I find most effective. You check in with the weight of your body. Whether you're sitting down, you just connect into the weight of your body on the seat and that connection part and the gravity. And it just brings you back to now. If you're standing up, do this like your feet connected to the ground that you're standing on, and just have that moment of connection. You have to be fully embodied and present to be able to make that all important connection and for your intention to be lived and received. Okay, 3rd, focus on what matters, not some story. Conflict generally occurs at the level of our strategies. Our strategies are what we want. What we need to do is uncover the why behind the what, which is the need. Why does this person want what they want? That strategy. So when we come with this intention to genuinely understand, and when we're physically, we're fully embodied and present, we are much more likely to be able to hear, to see, and to uncover what that need is beneath the want, that strategy that often is the cause of the conflict. Okay? So take this away. All people are always trying to have their needs met. And the conflict is normally at the level of the strategy. And when you can uncover the need, then a need can be met in many different ways. And that's where we can begin to explore alternatives that may support the mutual needs of the people in that conversation. I hope you found this helpful. Please let me know which of these tips, if not all, that you're going to employ in your next difficult conversation. I'm Eimear Zone. Click like and follow if you'd like more of this content.